Now, here's your host, Paul Blair.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to another edition of the Bob Simmons Show. Week 2 of the 1995 college football season found our Cowboys on the road in Tulsa playing the Golden Hurricane at Skelly Stadium. And, Coach, this is a game you can throw out the records, you can throw out the point spreads. Always seems to come down to the wire.
Well, you're absolutely right, Paul. You know, I thought our kids played well for 3 quarters, but just like you said, anytime you play Tulsa, you have to play them 4 quarters.
We'll be back to take a look at the first half highlights right after this message. Welcome back to the Bob Simmons Show. Well, week 2 finds the Cowboys on the road, as we mentioned, at Skelly Stadium in Tulsa. Real good crowd for a TU-OSU game.
Oh, excellent crowd. This ball game, I think the fans were split down the middle. It was good to see our OSU fans there supporting us. Here you see the kickoff starting the ball game, and I thought for the most part our defense started the ball game and really played well. I really thought we were dominant up front, and I really liked the fact that Jamal Williams and the defensive line, we played 4 down linemen this game, which is a change for us. But I thought those kids really controlled the line of scrimmage early in the ball game. Got good pressure on the quarterback, forced some bad throws. I thought the secondary early was playing well, and I thought we were just really playing good as a defensive unit.
Well, great defensive series right there to start the game. They take the opening kickoff and go nowhere, get good pressure on the quarterback and do a great job of wadding up the middle. And as you mentioned, Jamal Williams, 6'3", 255-pound redshirt freshman, just had an outstanding game.
He had an exceptional game with 12 tackles. I think he had 2 knockdowns. For the most part, I really thought the defense came out, went 3 and out. And here you see our punt return unit with Andre Richardson doing a good job of blocking up front and getting positive yardage. The offense really had a good game plan against their defense, came out, we really wanted to try to establish the run this ball game. You see David Thompson and Andre Richardson, those kids played excellent football. The offensive line blocked well for them, and we had big holes. Again, you see David running through tackles, and you also see Andre later on running through tackles.
Well, just great second and third effort right there for Thompson. 22-yard gain on the draw play. Coming back, Thompson again with the pitch to the left
Thompson
side.
With the pitch on the left side again. He's showing his strength there. You know, David, he's got enough moves to run around you. This is our first points on the board. Lawson came in and did a nice job of executing that field goal.
Well, Thompson gained a lot of strength. Lawson Vaughn, another young man who's a lot stronger than he was last year, has a lot more distance on his kicks this year.
Our kicking game is exceptional. Here again, you see our defense. Everybody's swarming to the football. There was an emphasis this week of getting 11 guys to the ball and putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And our guys had put a lot of pressure up front, which was good to see. Norman Williams, Jamal, also Jay Grossfield, all those guys played well.
Well, if you're calling the play-by-play doing color, pretty easy just to say Williams on the tackle in the middle between Norman and Jamal. They really wadded things up. And here, good pressure on the quarterback results in an incomplete pass. And Tulsa forced to punt.
Forced to punt, for the most part, did a pretty decent job of executing the return. Again, this is a nice decision by Andre calling for a fair catch.
I see you over here getting Tony already on the sidelines.
You know, the thing about Tony, we got to keep him sharp in the ball game, but we just thought that we could go into this game and really hammer their defense up front, and I really liked the effort that our offensive line gave, and I really liked the fact that our backs are really running hard and running through people and creasing people. We've always said coming into this season we have to be able to rush the football. I thought we did that well.
Well, good hard running by the tailback, good blocking downfield by the linemen and receivers. Grenier there fighting for 3 yards. Got to throw that fullback a bone every now and then.
Now and then, absolutely right. Again, this is a mistake on Tony's part. Again, he had 2 reads. He doesn't want to force the ball in there, and that's what we're trying to get him to make better decisions. We're back on defense here, and again, the defense go in after the interception and it's a sudden change situation, but we go in and go 3 and out, which is what a good defense should do. Here's Jamal, again, getting up and knocking that ball down.
Well, that was a very big series of the game. First turnover for the Cowboys, yet the defense comes out and forces them to punt after 3 downs.
Yes, and that's a good defense would do that. This is a nice decision of trying to get them away from the ball by Trent Fisher.
Well, into the first quarter finds Oklahoma State on top 3-0, but the game has been totally dominated by the Cowboys.
Good. You know, the play we're running here was called our LA play. It's really our draw play because the linemen get up the field so fast, and we creased them probably for over 100 yards on this particular play. And those kids ran that play well. Offensive line blocked it well. Here, we're really trying to get outside. We get outside by a formation. Good block at the point of attack, and now we're running back inside David. I think that's David. No, that's Andre. Again, ball security. Anytime you get in a pile, you want to put that ball away. Here's Jeff. This is probably one of his longest runs of the night. Very aggressive run by Jeff. He did a nice job of reading the tackle's block here, hitting inside, put that ball away. When he gets in the crowd, you see him tuck that ball away.
He's a good fullback. He blocks well. We saw last week he's able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and he runs very well when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah. This is an exceptional throw by Tony. Coming off his first read, going to Kent Luck, made a great catch with the man hanging all over him. It's good to see Luck make those types of catches. Again, this is team enthusiasm. I like that. The team goes down and congratulates him. And anytime you put points on the board like this is a good read, good pass, good catch and throw, and good execution by Kent Luck and then Tony Jones. Perfect pass.
Good pass protection by the offensive line allowed Tony Jones to sit back there. 36-yard touchdown pass to Kent Luck, and that is our offensive play of the game this week. Kent Luck, a walk-on from Muskogee originally, has hung around and really made an impact this year for the Cowboys.
He's made an impact. He's done an exceptional job. He's also one of our leaders on our football team. Here we're starting I think it's the second quarter. Defense was relentless all day long, and that's the mark of being a good defense. Being able to stop the run.
A lot of defenders swarming the football this week, which is something we didn't see a whole lot last week.
Right, and that was the emphasis this week. Everybody getting to the ball and playing team defense, controlling your gaps here. Again, you'll see right here good pass coverage in this particular situation.
Brings up a third down. A blocked pass by Jamal Williams nearly results in an interception.
Right, Jamal did a good job of keeping his hands up all day. And here forces another punt for us, and Andre makes a great catch on this, and in that situation, we tell him try to get what you can once he catches the ball. He did a good job there. Here's David back outside. This is an exceptional run. He's showing great speed going down the sideline.
Great combination with David Thompson and Andre Rich in the backfield. Here, R.W. McQuarters once again in the offense.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is what we call our Tar Heel play, getting the ball to McQuarters and let him do what he does best and show his athletic ability. Now what he needs to do is get upfield, go north and south instead of east and west.
A little flanker quick screen. I think we saw that last week against Nebraska. Yeah. Grenier up the middle
again,
for 5.
You got to keep his feet. I know Tom works on those drills every day. A fullback keeping your feet. Nice run by David, cutback play. Their defense was over pursuing, so we were able to run our inside zone where we ended up cutting it back.
3rd and 1, little talk here on the sidelines. Decided to go down the middle to Mays.
Yeah, one of the things we saw during the course of the week was how they line up in short yardage situation. This is good play calling. We caught them in the defense that we wanted them to be in, and we released Alonzo off the line here. Had that ball been thrown inside, he might have ended up running for a touchdown. But this is a good throw and catch.
Thompson here on a sweep to the left side, gets 7 yards.
Exceptional run, exceptional blocking. Again, he's running with power.
And here just before halftime with time running out, another nifty piece of running by Thompson.
This is a great run. Really the play wasn't blocked that well, and he made some exceptional cuts to free himself up and get in the end zone.
Well, here it is coming to the end of the first half. The Cowboys have thoroughly dominated the first 2 quarters, both offensively and defensively. Defense just repeatedly has been 3 downs and out. Here we just see a great cut there by Thompson to get it in for the touchdown. A little bit of a chintzy late hit there, but I guess they'll let that one go. But had to be pleased with the offense. Offensive lines controlled the line of scrimmage. We've run the ball effectively. We've passed the ball effectively. Special teams has been very good to this point, converting on the PAT. Going into the locker room, up 17-3, totally dominating the first half. You just had to feel very good at this point in time.
Really, I felt we had the game under control. I really felt our kids had played well and came out with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of pride in terms of how they wanted to respond to this game. And we talked about that doing it all week. And so we talked about at the halftime that this being a 4-quarter game. We talked about that. We wanted to go out and the score 0-0 and play the second half just like we did the first half.
Defense, we talked about, played extremely well. At halftime, only allowed 58 yards of total defense, 30 yards rushing, 28 through the air, and of course that was led by Jamal Williams, who had just had a solid performance all night long.
Jamal, this is his first start for us, and as strong as Jamal is playing a 3 technique, he had a great game. Anytime you're a defensive lineman and you have 12 tackles in a game and 2 knockdowns, that's an exceptional ball game by a defensive lineman.
Well, that stop right there. Jamal Williams on the tailback. Solomon White was our defensive play of the game last night. Actually, you could have just picked a handful out of a hat. He was in so many. Well, that brings us to the end of the first half highlights. We'll be back to take a look at the second half action right after this. Welcome back to the Bob Simmons Show. Coach, 17-3 after the first half. You had to be very pleased with the execution, both offensively and defensively through the first half. What did you say to the team at halftime?
Well, the biggest thing we talked about, we went in and made adjustments on some of the things that they were doing on offense and defense. Then we talked about playing a second half just like the first half. We said we had to go out and be fundamentally sound. We said that we talked about playing 4 quarters in terms of executing both offensively and defensively, and that we did not want to celebrate until this ball game was over with. And I really thought our kids' attitude at the halftime was excellent. They was really looking forward to coming back out and starting the second half. We were supposed to receive the ball, so I told the offense, when we receive the ball, let's try to take that first drive and take it down the field. Now here you see, this is, I think that's Kevin Williams. Did a nice job of fielding. They stopped kicking to RW.
For good reason.
Yeah. But this is the first drive. You can see right now. This is an exceptional run by
Richardson.
Andre
Richardson, yeah. Start the second half, 36 yards.
We come back, and this is a nice throw and catch by his little brother Terrence. Nice pass by Tony here. And so the offense, for the most part, had really picked up a little bit from the first half and was making plays. Not a spiral there, but at least it was caught.
It got there. Well, after seeing Andre Richardson, now Terrence Richardson, big question is, do the Richardsons have any more children coming along?
No, I think this is it. This is a heck of a sweep, although I think this play is going to be called back by the officials there. I watched it on film. Again, our tight ends got to put their hands back inside. Again, this is another tip ball. The defense came out the third quarter and really started picking up where they left off in terms of being dominant against the run and forcing the guard to scramble, and then when he does scramble, being able to pull him up.
Good play there by Lorenzo Green to make the stop after the scramble. Now Cowboys back on offense at their own 9.
Yeah, excellent run by, I think that's David Thompson again. We picked up where we're running our sweeps, or he should have stayed outside here. On this week, we'd picked up more yardage here. Now we're going back inside. Great cut, great footwork. We get a face mask. That's a great hit by the defensive player, but we get a face mask called in.
Start of the fourth quarter, Cowboys up 17-3 and on the move.
Yeah, our offense is really controlling the ball game. They're really running very aggressive inside. They're making holes for our backs. And at this point in the ball game, we really felt that we had the game under control. We're running down the clock in the game. And what we just wanted to do was maintain ball control, was one of the things we talked about doing going into the ball game. And you can see David, he's running hard and he's running well.
Nice hole there, good block downfield by Derek Line, and now come back. Jones passed to Terrence Richardson for a big gain.
This is a good read. Came off his first read, went to his second. Again, this is his little brother Terrence doing make an exceptional catch on this ball here.
33 yards on the completion, set up once again by great protection up front.
Great protection up front. And the fact that we were running the ball really opened up our passing lanes.
First down at the 11-yard line. Oklahoma State comes up with Thompson up the middle for 5 yards.
Again, this play wasn't blocked as well, but this is a great option. We call our option play with Tony, and great blocking up front. Made a positive decision and scored a touchdown. And at this point in the game, our kids are feeling very good about themselves. Long drive, good ball control, defense is resting. And now all you got to do is come out and just execute the last, I think, this is probably 9 minutes left in the ball game at this point.
Exactly. We missed the extra point, which at the time didn't look like a very big issue.
No. We got a high snap from center. Normally Curtis is an excellent center, one of the best I've seen, but The ball was snapped high. It should have been fielded by Ivy, but he chose to pick it up. He made a poor decision. When you muff it, just go ahead and don't make poor decisions. I think he flipped it up in the air. And had it been completed, they could have ran the ball back for 2 points against us.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the exception of the muff snap and a missed field goal, we did make one field goal, 1 for 2 for the night. But once again, Greg Ivy had an outstanding night.
Good. This is where we stopped them. This is going into the fourth quarter, and again, our punt return team has been exceptional here. We forced him to kick the Andre, and we got a picket fence set up on the far side. Great block there. We talk about execution in the punt return and get around in front. You don't see the flag, but a flag comes in here late. But there's a picket fence. This is late in the ball game. He takes his ball down to the 25-yard line, and this is a great return. But because of an individual's technique, this ball is called back. We cannot clip in that situation.
Well, football is truly a game of inches. That's one of those unfortunate breaks that wound up costing us. Instead of having a first down there at the 16-yard line, we weren't able to put points on the board.
I tell you, those are things that we talk about. When we talk about stalk technique, getting around in front, and we tell the players that you're held accountable for that. If you're in position to make the block, make the block. If you're not, make the smart decision. The smart decision is not to make the block at all.
Very disappointing finish, obviously, after dominating the football game for well over 3 quarters to wind up letting it slip away at the end. What did you have to say to the team after the game?
Well, the big thing is that we have to learn to play all 4 quarters. The fact that when you're ahead with 20-3 with about 9 minutes left in the ball game, you can't assume that the ball game is over with. We gave them the momentum, and then we didn't answer the call. Once you give a team momentum and they get the onside kick, somebody's got to step up and make a play at the end of the ball game. And we did not do that. Tough loss, but our kids know that the price of victory is high. And for us to win, we have to be complete. We got to be complete in the running game, complete in the passing game, and we got to be complete on special teams. We had plenty of opportunity to put that ball game away and didn't do it. Anytime you let a team linger around, you got a chance for losing the ball game, and that's just exactly what happened.
We'll be back to take a look at this week's Cowboy Honor Roll after this timeout.
World Color Press.
Welcome back to the Bob Simmons Show. Well, after dominating the game for over 3 quarters, obviously there were a lot of outstanding performances in last night's OSU Tulsa game. And let's take a look at this week's Coach's Honor Roll.
Yeah, this week's honor roll, our offensive players, David Thompson had an exceptional game, gaining 125 yards. Brian Hope really blocked 80% for us and really played an exceptional ball game, blocking the middle linebackers as well as his assignments. On defense, Jamal Williams, again, having an exceptional game with 12 tackles, 2 knockdowns, a sack. Had an excellent ball game for us for a defensive lineman. Special team players, Andre Richardson did a nice job of fielding punts and actually ran back a couple, made smart decisions. He was a special team player of the week. Our rookie is Raymond Cato. He really worked hard this week. He's an up-and-coming freshman who we think is doing an excellent, exceptional job. And then our scout team players, Big Kelly Clare. He did a nice job for the offense. The offensive coaches really thought that he did a good job of getting our defensive line ready to play in this ball game.
Well, very good execution for the most part, both offensively and defensively. Marked improvement, really, from week 1. This week, back at home at Lewis Stadium among the friendly fans, and we're hosting the Southwest Missouri State Bears. Your comments?
Yeah, well, the Southwest Missouri Bears, they're going to come in throwing the ball all over a lot. Their new coach, Dale Miller's got this system is very similar to Kansas, and it's going to be probably 100 passes in this ballgame. And so what we got to do is really improve our secondary play and make sure we have good adjustments. And also we got to make sure that we get plenty of pressure on the quarterback.
Going into this week's game, what about an injury update? How's Langford coming along?
Javon Langford's coming along well. I think what they're going to do is take the cast off and put a soft cast on after Monday's practice and see what he can do. We expect Javon to come back probably the week of the Wyoming game.
Any real adjustments going into this next week's game?
Well, we're just going to try to execute better and again, play for all 4 quarters and, again, be positive with this football team. It's a hard loss to take, but, we talked about playing one game at a time. This game is over with. We got to learn from our mistakes and come out and then play a better ball game against Southwest Missouri.
Coach, once again, thank you very much, and I'd like to thank you all very much. That wraps up this week's Bob Simmons Show, and we'd like to invite you back again next week as Oklahoma State plays host to the Southwest Missouri State Bears. Good night, everybody.